Hey guys, it's Lefty from 643 Productions, welcoming you to another gameplay commentary. And today we're going to talk a little business. We're going to talk about money, a whole lot of money, actually, coming in and out of the video game industry as a whole. Now, this is something that I've hinted at for a long, long time, and I will never, ever tire of reminding people of this fact, because I think once you are aware of it, once you come at I guess you could call it the gaming issue from the perspective of a consumer rather than a gamer, I think it opens up whole new doors and possibilities for criticisms and expectations for what the product should and could be, and services and all those things. So I want to talk about the video game industry as a business as a whole. Video games, in this current economic climate, over the last 15 to 20 years, video games have become big business. Not only have they become big business, they have become huge business. They have become economic heavyweights. They are big movers and shakers in this economic climate in the United States and indeed the world. I mean, the figures that I'm going to be talking about here today really are only relegated to the United States. However, when you step back and take a look globally, the figures just get larger. And in fact, the United States, in terms of revenue for the video game industry, accounts for less than half of the total revenue of the video game industry throughout the world. So keep that in mind when we talk about these statistics. But I think, again, if you come at it from this perspective of the gaming industry being big business, not a bunch of guys that were just dicking around, they're college dropouts, they were computer programmers, and they, instead of, writing, software for, whatever other programs, like AutoCAD and stuff like that, instead of that, they wrote video games, and now they're just trying to sell it to make a few bucks and, pay for their apartments, etc. No, that's not what these guys are. That is not what these guys are. The video game industry in 2010, okay, this is 2010. The video game industry in the United States generated some $25 billion in revenue. Now, I say revenue and not profits, and there is a difference between revenue and profits. I talk about revenue because that is a better indication of the economic impact of an industry, a corporation, a product, etc. It attempts to, or at least if you view it through the correct lens in the correct context, it gives you an idea as to how much impact an individual, again, corporation, product, industry has on the economy as a whole, because profits are really indicative of the company and its own efficiency. Now, you can't really blame, if somebody has a really, really, really hot product that everybody in the United States wants to buy, like 300 some odd million people, they're moving 200 million units a year. It's not the fault of the industry that any given company is inherently inefficient, and thus the actual profits are insanely less than what you would get from selling 200 million units retail. So that's why I go off revenue. But $25 billion in 2010. Now, granted, there are a lot of industries that generate a lot more money than that in revenue, and hell, in profits. But let me put this into perspective for you, because, again, even I had trouble. I'm like, okay, well, $25 billion, how much is that? The NHL in 2010, or at least around the 2009, 2010, estimated $3.3 billion in revenue. That's the NHL. The NBA, $3.8 billion in that same time frame, around that time. The NFL, $9.3 billion. And the MLB, $7 billion in 2010. That's Major League Baseball and the National Football League. Again, $7 billion for Major League Baseball, and the holiest of holies in America, the creme de la creme of the sporting entertainment world, the NFL, $9.3 billion. So when you combine all four of the major sports in the United States in the year 2010, the video game industry still outclassed them. Still. And what's more, the top of the video game industry, the top individual corporations, Activision and EA, generated in 2010 more revenue than the NBA. The individual corporations generated more revenue than the NBA and the NHL, not combined, but respectively. That is big business. That is big business in today's economic climate. And again, keep in mind that these figures only grow larger when you expand your scope to include the entire globe. When you start talking about global economic factors and impact, the video game industry just gets larger in its scope and in its impact. So again, let's abandon. It's time for us to abandon the notion that these movers and shakers in the video game industry are our friends, are our buddies, are just gamers just like us that want to make it in the world today. And it takes everything they've got. Oh man, pop culture reference. You get that right in the comments, you win the internet for the day. Let's abandon that. They're not our buddies, they're not our pals, they're businessmen. And what's more, they're in a pretty damn big business, more than the MLB, the NFL, the NBA, and the NHL combined. And that's just in the United States. Globally, it's somewhere closer to $60 billion a year. But anyway, guys, that's my time. I got to get out of here. Thank you for joining. I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to drop a like on this video if you did enjoy. Remember, likes, favorites, comments, and shares via Facebook and Twitter do help me out. Thank you guys for joining. I hope you enjoyed. I'm out.